Wanted to use my YouTube channel to not only get me to my goals for this year, but to have the channel be the vehicle for my creative endeavors. Alright everybody, I did it. I succeeded in accomplishing one goal so far. I'm not the type of person to put myself out there, and watching it back, it was terrifying. As you can tell, there's really no cohesion or method to the madness. And I just sort of dropped the ball with that one. I don't know, I guess my justification was it was better to not have a plan because there's very little chance of failure or coming up short. I know I'm going to struggle with it. Trying to create for so long that, I'll stop something before I even start because I'm nervous about how people are going to react to it. If people even want to see it. If people think that it was a waste of time or I shouldn't have even done it. I want to do a recap in December and see where the year has taken me. The best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. This is a line from Robert Burns' poem To a Mouse. It's about the lamentation of a farmer who unsuspectingly plows over the nest of a mouse that had been preparing for winter. Though the mouse has put time, effort, and careful planning into the nest construction, it could not foresee the actions of an outside destructive force, albeit not malevolent, mind you, but the needs and actions of the farmer could not have also foreseen the actions of the mouse. A little bit dramatic, but it pertains to my video project for 2021. Well, you may notice a change in scenery. A lot has happened over the course of the year, and just these last 2 months alone have thrown a ton of curveballs my way. I'm now working in my bedroom. While I am disappointed that the project stalled out, it wasn't entirely a failure. I mean, overall, yes. I'll sort of get to that in a second. But the goal of the project was to have a video record of me tackling my goals. For a while it was. And I got a lot of things accomplished in 2021 by not recording those videos. But I did say that in my first video that I posted at the beginning of this project that I would do a recap at the end of the year, and I at least want to fulfill that promise. So it's December 31st, 2021, and with a few hours left in the year, let's get into it. Goal number 1 for 2021 was to post more content on YouTube, and this was an absolute failure. I posted 10 videos overall, and if I were to go by the standards of my one video per week, you could think that I got 1/5 of the way done, which sounds okay, except when you realize and know that 6 of those videos were released in January, 2 in February, 1 in March, and 1 in April. And while I did come up short, I think it was beneficial overall to have not met this goal. It's a little convoluted to say it that way, but kind of want to circle back to that in a second. Goal number 2, getting rid of my student loan debt. I'm a lot closer than I would have been had I just stayed on the payment plan. I think I got about 5 more months left. So, while it's not completely done, it's a success. My third goal was to direct and shoot 3 short films. On its face, it's a failure for what the original intention was, but it wasn't a failure as to what was actually accomplished. And piggybacking off of why goal number 1 is not a success, but I also don't see it as a failure. I kind of want to recap on that. Goal number 4 was something I actually completed, writing a feature-length script. I was sitting at the office and I was about to head out, and when I got all those notifications that I wasn't going to be working that day, I just said, screw it. I opened up my laptop and just went to work and was able to get a pretty rough first draft, like a complete movie. I've been working on it over the course of the year, but it's been the one sort of bright spot. Perhaps I'll talk about it in the future, but I'm still editing that one. But that one was a success. Goal number 5 was a very ambitious goal to release 5 songs. This one I sort of made a deal with myself off camera, and I probably should have put it on camera as a sort of like, hey, remember, this is what you agreed to. I determined that this one would be sort of a flex goal, and I would get to them when I had the time. But with how certain things went this year, it turns out I didn't have as much free time as I was sort of expecting and planning to. I did end up completing and recording one song. I've got a few other that are sort of kind of anywhere between 30 and 70% complete. Getting to complete one was sort of a big step for myself, considering that, my band hasn't gotten together in over a year and a half. Goal number 6 was to expand my photography business, and this was undoubtedly the biggest success for the year, and this is probably the one goal I focused on more than any other one. My website has attracted business. I've earned new clients from different brokerages. I've expanded my offerings for services to that of social media marketing and even creative ad content. So this is where I want to circle back to goals number 1 and 3. Even though I didn't shoot the 3 narrative short films that I wanted to, I did shoot a bunch of different advertisements. The free time that I had set aside for shooting YouTube content went towards creating these, social media marketing ads and creative content for other people. And that in and itself is somewhat of a success. It wasn't the intended plan, but I got the results overall. Some of those will be released on my channel in the coming year. So, you'll see what I have been working on. Goal 7 was losing 60 pounds. Didn't happen. Simple as that. I just was not motivated. Goal number 8 is the one that I'm most disappointed with personally. And that was buying a house. Granted, the market is really hard to be in right now. It still hurts. Didn't have enough of a track record with my photography business to sort of get a foothold with lending. So hopefully this past year, with the increase in my photography business, hopefully that helps out. The only thing to do now is just, look back and know that I finished the year strong and know that I put myself in a better position than where I was. People can watch this video and say that the whole project was a failure, and it was. There's no sugarcoating it. I failed most of the goals that I had set for myself, but I'm not upset by it. And honestly, I learned from the mistake of what the initial project was. To be honest, it's kind of relieving because I can look back and know that there was no focus whatsoever. It was all scattershot. I mentioned in the first video that I just normally rode the wave of life to see where things took me, but I should not have done that. 8 goals is pretty lofty, especially when a lot of them require a ton of time commitment. And time management is one of my weaknesses, and I'm trying to get better with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a lot of projects shot and scripted, like a few. And whether it be through laziness or self-conscious reasons, they just never got done. But at the end of the day, at the end of the year, I'm in a much better position than where I was at the beginning of 2021. And I am happy for that. I'm seriously considering doing this project again in 2022, but with more focus and clearer direction. I have an idea of where I want to go and what I want to do. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy the last few hours that I have in 2021 with my family. And we can pick this up again in 2022. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one.